Every family has secrets. Some just call them loyalty. Have you ever looked at the younger people in your life? Maybe your children, your grandchildren, or even just the younger version of yourself in an old photo and seen a shadow of a struggle you know all too well? Maybe it's a specific type of anxiety, the way they shy away from conflict, or a weight they seem to carry that clearly isn't theirs. Silence is a debt. And when the adults in the room don't pay that debt by telling the truth, the next generation ends up paying the interest for the rest of their lives. We just talked about how this silence shows up as behavior in our own lives. Now we're looking at generational interest. We're looking at why the things we refuse to speak in one generation becomes the unexplained pain in the next. The next generation, whether they're your own children or the ones you're helping raise, are emotional sponges. They don't just hear what you say, they feel everything you don't say. They are experts at detecting the no-fly zones in a house. You know the ones, those topics, those names, or those rooms that carry a heavy silent charge. They might not have the vocabulary for addiction or affairs or betrayal, but they absolutely have the feeling of it. A child doesn't need to know what the secret is to feel the tension it creates. They learn to navigate around the hole in the family story. They develop their own protective behaviors to fill a void they don't even understand. Think about it. They're paying off a loan of silence that was taken out decades before they were even born. They're carrying a heavy box from the attic, but they've never been allowed to see what's inside. They just know it's heavy. And because no one gave them the context, they think that heaviness is somehow their fault. The reason for this work, and maybe the reason you're watching this series right now, is to stop that debt from transferring. Telling the truth isn't just about your own freedom. It's about clearing the ledger for those who come after you. It's about refusing to let your history become the destiny of your entire lineage. Even if you aren't raising children, your role in this is vital. You are the pattern breaker. You're the one who looks at the nieces, the nephews, and the cousins and says, I will not pass this ghost to you. When you name the secret, the interest stops accruing. You take that unexplained weight off the family's shoulders and you put it back where it belongs in the history books. You give them the gift of a clean slate. You give them the right to have their own problems instead of being forced to solve the ones you inherited but couldn't name. It's the most selfless act of love you can perform. Looking at your bloodline and saying, the debt stops with me. We often stay silent because we think we're protecting the younger generation from the ugliness of the truth. But let's be real. They are much better at handling a difficult truth than they are at handling the suspicion of a lie. The ugliness is already there. It's there in the tension they feel every single day. When you finally speak, you aren't bringing a storm into their lives. You are finally providing the umbrella. You're doing work generations before you couldn't even imagine. That makes you a pioneer in your own bloodline. Here's your affirmation. You're going to take a deep breath. And as you exhale, let your shoulders drop. Feel the weight of that box hitting the floor. You don't have to hold it up while you speak your truth. Say these words with me. I am the one who stops the cycle. I refuse to let the next generation pay for the silence of the last. I choose the discomfort of the truth over the long-term debt of a lie. My lineage and those who walk the path I clear will be free because I was brave enough to speak the name of the thing that stayed hidden. Whew! I know that feels better. This is Family Secrets. You've spent your life as a shock absorber, but you're allowed to be the one who finally clears the air. Before we go, you know what it is. I want you to sit with one thing. If you could hand a clean slate to the next generation of your family, what is one truth you would need to tell to make that possible? You don't have to tell them today. Just name it for yourself. Write it down if you have to. And feel how much lighter you get just by admitting it's there. I'll see you in the next conversation.